Alright folks, we're back talking about Voltron. You might as well say last time we did this, we had talked about Season 3, so you might as well say this is a hodgepodge of 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh.
Kind of be all over the place essentially anyway, because it's funny, they have the show has an 8 season deal, but when you actually watch season 4 and 5, they're really one season because there were 6 episodes apiece.
Right.
So it was kind of weird how that season went, but especially with 6, I believe season 6 had, how many episodes? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, season 6 had 7 episodes, and then season 7 has 13 episodes, which is basically what the first 2 seasons had. So I don't know what exactly was going on behind the scenes and stuff, but I just know season 3 and 4 could have been one, and season 5 and 6 could have been one season, but whatever. If that was their way of fulfilling their contract, then so be it, But yeah, here with one Mr. Mo Crosby from Earth 2 Comicast. How's it going?
What up? It's going well. I'm trying to get people on Earth 2 to talk about this, but nobody wants to watch it fast enough, so I guess I'll continue to feature on your channel.
Hey, but you got people on your Power podcast, which I need to jump on.
Oh, yeah, just let me know whenever you're ready for that.
Yeah, I ain't recording it for our show. I mean, I'm jumping on your show whenever you guys do it.
Just let me know next week. We'll have you on. The more the merrier.
Talk about the ratchetness that is Power.
Bruh. I mean, Earth 2 is trying to figure out. I think we're trying to figure out. Earth 2 is still a geek-based channel, but like we're touching on everything because we did Westworld. We did a couple. We're doing a couple other things trying to get people involved. But yeah, we're still. For everyone who's wondering, who listens to Earth 2, who came to Earth 2 because of CJ's channel, we're still geek-based. So don't worry about. We're not going to leave Star Trek and all those other shows alone because we're
Star Trek Season 2 is coming up. I mean, I'm just saying.
Wait.
Can't wait for that. Just saying. But I mean, I got to admit, you guys are fulfilling a niche, a void that's missing, because I don't know any podcast that's actually talking about Power actively like that. So,
right.
So, I mean, if they are, then I don't know where. So,
right. So you're welcome to check out Earth 2's Power podcast.
Yeah, definitely. So Voltron has been on a bit of a roll since season 1, and 4, 5, 6, and 7 has proved that they have a huge arc, and the way season 7 ended, it seems like season 8 is definitely going to be even more of a gut punch than what we realize.
Right.
You know what? I'll bury the lead off the break. So the biggest thing at San Diego Comic-Con when it came to
whatever, nigga.
What?
San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
flex your muscles real quick.
What the big thing that came out of the season 7 trailer was, and I don't know if they necessarily emphasized it per se and stuff. It's just I remember seeing the trailer. The aspect that Shiro had, he's gay. He has a relationship.
Yes.
And,
my god.
And the thing of it is, like,
about that, and that was so sad.
And the thing of it is, like, it was funny because, like, we were doing our little interviews and stuff. So when I walked inside, I didn't get a chance to check out the panel, but I did look at the trailer. I walked inside and everybody's like, "Oh my god, Shiro's gay," and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool, whatever," and stuff. I didn't really pay it any mind. So when they showed the clip of him and his partner kind of get into a discussion, it was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, fine and stuff. And then I was really thinking back on it. They killed his partner off screen. When the Gar
came to
Earth and stuff. He was one of many people that got killed and stuff. And there was a bit of a backlash over that because
that's what made me sad.
A lot of folks really were pissed off at the aspect that you didn't get much of a relationship. I didn't see the big deal in the sense of, like, it's like I get it, but I don't know. This is maybe, and I don't know whether I'm being an asshole in the sense of just like I don't see the big deal, but it's like I'm trying to understand like what are people necessarily pissed off about.
All right, so let me try to paint this picture for you, right?
All right.
This is what I understand people are being pissed off about. This is what I understand from it. Again, we on Earth 2, and I'm pretty sure 3BG, we all supportive of every member of every community you are involved in. The LGBTQ, of course, because, you know, we can't forget about you guys and your struggles and whatnot. But this is what I understand. It's like, in animation like this, on cartoon shows like this that are really hot, you know, it's a hot show, you know, whether it's a revamp or something, you know, as long as it's a hot show, they feel like they're they almost got represented on screen, but then it got taken away from them. But you see, so that's what I understand that they're pissed about. That they, you know, it's like, oh, you're almost there. You know, it's like, again, in season 7, I don't know about how you feel about this, but I am taking Hunk as the black dude of, you know, the Voltron Force, right?
No, I think he's Native American, and I'm only going based on the look of like how his family is dressed.
Nah, but his mom had the, you know, the puff, and I'm saying, yeah, that's a black woman, that's a black mother.
Could be black. I don't know. It's like they're very.
And I'm not any race.
That's the thing. It's like and I'm not one of those people that knocks it either. I think it's like Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Legend of Korra, where there's clearly a racial aspect to it, but it's not the dominating factor. Like they're not saying, "Oh, I'm black." No, I'm this. It's like no, they clearly are of a race of ambiguity we don't know, so we can basically, like you said, he could be black. I think they're Native American, so it works.
You see,
it works to everybody.
Yes, exactly. It's open for everyone's. Everyone's kind of like, oh, this is, you know, it's open to your interpretation.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, Shiro, the name Shiro is not anybody's white name. So even though the character looks Caucasian, you know from his name he's not. Yeah. But anyways, again, so in I can see their anger. It's like, oh, well, you know, you've almost defined every other character by their relationship, you know. Yeah. Again, we don't know if, what's his name? Lance. Is it Lance I'm thinking about? The Black Lion? Lance, right?
No, Keith is Black Lion.
Keith. My bad. We don't know if Keith is straight or gay because we haven't seen any relationship, but we know Lance had the crush on the princess. Pidge is a girl. You know, from what we watched, Pidge was a boy.
Yeah,
you know,
for the whole series.
Pidge is a girl. So you've given you know, young girls who, you know, and he's the smartest one on the crew. So you've given young girls who want to be smart that avenue. You know, now they can connect with the show that way. So I believe the gay community, or, you know, the LGBTQ community is like, well, you know, it's like, oh, you know, we're not going to show you his gay romance on screen, but we're going to let you just know that he's gay, and that's it. I'm pretty sure they wanted a fully fleshed out arc on that kind of romance thing. So that's my thing. But what I'm upset with them about is, okay, we understand your struggle, we understand what you're saying. Death threats and all the threats you're sending. That's when you're starting to go overboard. It may be a fringe, you know, members of that community, but they're speaking louder than the ones that are not saying anything. So, in my opinion, you know, it's like in fandom, if a fringe part of your fandom is starting to be louder than the rest of them, it kind of dulls out everyone else, and it kind of makes, you know, your whole fandom look crazy. So, that's
like I said, I appreciate the showrunners coming out and kind of explaining themselves, but also understanding the fandom. So I at least appreciate, because I mean, it's like you said, I do feel like, when you have the rest of the Voltron crew have at least some sort of a fleshed out relationship, because like I said with Keith, he has his relationship with his mother, his Galarian mother, his Garan mother. You know, you have even Hunk, his relationship with some of the alien races that he's befriended over the seasons and stuff, you know. And so I get so now I'm starting to understand the aspect, because at least Shiro had a relationship, and it seemed as though the whole thing with his relationship was the fact that he was very dedicated to the job, and his partner wasn't really feeling that aspect to him, you know. So I thought that you know what, I get it now, totally get it now.
But I'm just against the whole, like, you know, we're sending out death threats and we're trying to kill people because
that's
you show a gay character. Like, come on, man.
that is 100% dumb because, like I said, it does kill the people that have genuine concerns, but they also at the same time weren't going overboard. It was like, it sucks. I wish they did blah blah blah. So I mean, yeah, I hope Shiro has somebody else in mind that he can hook up with.
Exactly. The show's not over yet, right? It's not over, so that can still happen.
Yeah, it can still happen. So, and I probably, when I put this up, I'll have the Voltron stuff from San Diego. I might attach it to this episode. I probably will attach it to this episode because it probably would be better off doing that. But so one of the biggest things and stuff about these 4 seasons and stuff, was the aspect of Lotor, and I thought it was interesting. I thought for a minute they were actually going to 180 us and make Lotor a full-fledged good guy.
Right. They got me there. Because
I was literally, I think in 4, and I think in 3 too, to an extent, it was like they painted Lotor out to be this person that is like, okay, he's Garin, but like he has a different way.
His father's ideals and yeah.
Like he's still
he's half Garin, half Altarian, right?
Yeah, he's half Garin, half Altarian. Which, okay, we're gonna pause here on Lotor. So they did a full-fledged backstory on freaking Zarkon and Hagar.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
And I thought it was great in the fact that Zarkon was actually a legit good guy. And from what, okay, I'm trying to remember because this is like,
yeah, he was the Black Lion's paladin. He was a legit good guy. They were good, and then he wanted Voltron to use Voltron to control the universe, or to be more of a police, like we're in charge.
Right? Police state kind of thing and stuff, like the Garans are now, essentially. Like, hey, we're going to rule everything with the iron thumb. They made the robot lions out of the quintessence. Was it? Am I saying it right?
Quintessence.
Yeah, quintessence. Oh, wow, I am fucking up the word. Say it again.
Quintessence. So they found the quintessence. Yeah.
Yeah, they found the quintessence. His wife Hagar, I forgot her real name, her Altarian name.
Oh yeah, because she's Altarian, and she found it, and I think she got poisoned by it. That's how she became it.
Well, it was more like corruption, so to speak, because what it was is.
Oh yeah, she spent too much time in the field.
Yeah, the quintessent field, and what it was is when Zarkon essentially started being, basically was. He was trying to do he was basically flexing, trying to overpower everybody. He got defeated. Hagar basically took him in, and she ended up using Altarian like magic, so to speak, which explains a lot of how Hagar was able to do magic. And as we find out, she actually used Shiro to keep tabs on the Voltron force. That's how she was able to
know where they were,
and all that stuff. Because initially we thought, and even in the first 3 seasons, we thought that it was because it has something to do with her tagging one of the lions, which I guess that was a red herring, so to speak. It turns out we found out Shiro is actually a clone.
Right, and so much. He
actually died after they quote unquote defeated Lotor at the end of season 3. No, 2.
Yeah, it was season 2.
Season 2 when he disappeared. So what it was is basically his body vanished, but his essence and stuff was still in the Black Lion. And as it gets down to like the end of season 6 and stuff, you find out Hagar had a bunch of cloned Shiro bodies in waiting. So anytime like Shiro might have disappeared for a minute, there was another clone body there in waiting with basically his essence still in there from what he last remembered and stuff. So they technically didn't get the real Shiro. Because basically I think the Shiro that crash landed on Earth was the clone Shiro, essentially.
Yeah, it might have been a clone Shiro because I think he came looking for the weapon and found out that one of the lines was...
Oh, no. That was the real Shiro. What it was is... that's right. My bad. That was the real Shiro.
Yeah.
She just experimented with him so he can get that little hand thing and stuff. And I think that's what started her being able to clone his body and stuff in case that he did die or whatever and stuff. So once he disappeared, she put her plan into motion and boom, he was part of the team and stuff. And I thought it was...
Do you think she cloned him from his hand? That probably came off in the fields, because he was a fighter, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was doing the gladiator battles and stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure with her doing experiments on humans, period. Because you remember in this season, with season 7, Pip's dad was explaining how, Shiro and Matt were thrown in the gladiator games, and he was there as a scientist and stuff. But before all that, they got captured and were experimented on.
Right. Yeah, he did.
So I have to imagine, like, she picked up on some things and was like, he might be useful. Let's do this. So it was definitely everything there. And like I said, the backstory for them and stuff and how the Garan Empire became to be was actually pretty cool. Because it's like the idea that this whole universe at one point worked together to combat a threat, and then it took Zarkon to be kind of corrupted by the power and stuff, and just everything that happened, it was just like, wow, and then you find out that that's Lotor, and it's amazing too that Lotor still doesn't know that Hagar is his mom.
No, he doesn't. And you know what's funny though? In a way, Lotor and his dad have different ideals on how to control everything, because they do want to do the same thing, but they have different ways of going about it, and I think that's what they were fighting about.
Yeah.
And if you break it down, but it looked to us like it was a rebellion when it really wasn't. It's just, I have a different way of doing things than you do. And when we found out Lotor's plan, bruh, it was sick. Like, I think his plan was way better than his dad's in the first place, and his plan would have worked.
Yeah,
would have worked.
Yeah. And the thing about Hagar, like we were saying with her backstory, what it was is, okay, so essentially there was a comet that came down, and the comet basically had quintessence in it. And she was testing the quintessence on her pet and all that stuff. So more or less what it was is there was a beast that came out of the rift where the comet came from. And that's how Voltron came to be. And what it was is, essentially, I guess in order for them to close the rift and stuff, Zarkon basically decided, all right, well, we're going to have to close the rift, but this is also going to destroy my planet.
Right.
And in doing that, it corrupted him and everything, and now basically Hagar has her little druids and the Gara Empire and all that stuff came to be. And it was that, like I said, everything with that was tragic in a sense and stuff, and it was just, like you said, it was nice to see that gradual her going to that descent of craziness.
Yeah, getting sick. It almost looked like she was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, but it was just her spending that much more time and using so much power, to fight, to combat the problem, and not doing it right. It was something about her just off.
Yeah.
But it was really sad to see her go transform into, Hagar. And I think that's what we missed, watching it as kids. I don't know if they ever showed Hagar becoming Hagar. They just gave us Hagar, right?
Yeah. Now, I will say this, though. Let me ask you this. All right. So, and for those that's listening, I'm pretty sure you picked up on this is going to be a lot of spoilers. So, if you haven't seen Voltron Season 7, I suggest you watched it. So let me ask you this. Now, when we last saw of Hagar in Season 6, she landed in the same area where Lotor and Princess
Laura?
Princess Laura actually were in that little other world and stuff.
Right.
And she was there. And that's the last time we saw her. Now, at the end of Season 7, when that mech came down, they defeated it, and we find there was an Altarian as the power source. Do you think that's Hagar back in her Altarian form?
No, I think, I'm not sure if, so when we watched Season 6, right, did all the Altarians get rescued from that little place that Lotor had them? Yeah,
they got saved, and she was on that other. She basically followed Lotor and the princess to that other world, and that's the last time we saw her. So I'm assuming that's her in her younger form.
Wow, if that is her, man, that is some crazy doo-doo nonsense, because I don't know. We could see, or because I don't think all of them. Oh, wait, so you're saying all of them from Season 6 got rescued? Because I think maybe Lotor's plans and Lotor's.
Well, I mean, I know Lotor enslaved them and stuff, and I think that one chick that Keith and his mom saved when they went, because that was another side plot, is that Keith and his mom, we finally see his mom. They went back, they went in time and stuff, and Keith basically aged up a bit too.
Right.
And they got to this other world, and they found another Altean there that was a survivor of Lotor. Because up to that point, we were assuming like, okay, you know, Lotor was good, and then she's like, oh no, Lotor is an asshole. Like he's evil. Like he enslaved us. And she was like, what are you talking about?
Like he saved them to use them as experiments. That's crazy.
Yeah, which, I mean, at that point, I was like, I shouldn't be surprised, but damn it, I was expecting him to be redeemed. But, hey, you know.
But that is the one good thing he did against his dad, was when his dad destroyed Altea, he saved a bunch of Alteans. Yeah. Only because he had ulterior motives, but he saved a bunch of them. Though.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, part of me thinks maybe that's Hagar, but then again, I had to sit back and I'm like, no, because Hagar had gray, even in her Altean form, she had like grayish hair, so that can't be, it can't be her. But it was just weird because I was like, I knew she was trying to be immortal, but what's to say that her being used as the power source for that robot is her basically trying to get back to Earth, and she has ulterior motives because she's literally the only bad guy Garian other than the other two chicks that was part of Lotor's crew that's still out there.
Right, but hold on, check it. Lotor's experiments was removing quintessence from the Alteans, right? I think it's connected. I think he's not done. I think he's.
Do you think he's dead, or do you think he just disappeared like Shiro did after?
I think that's what happened with Lotor. I think he's disappeared. He's probably in another time zone. He's probably, like he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Because just like his dad, who also got consumed by, a whole bunch of quintessence. Because that's season 6. They fought in that quintessence field, right? That's what that was.
Yeah.
Pure quintessence.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I mean, I thought it was dope that he literally had his own Voltron mech.
That was dope.
I didn't see that coming. I was like, hold up, does he have his own Voltron? Yes, he does.
And but when that little android came down, came to Earth, I thought that was a Robies. I'm like, oh snap, Robies. And then I thought Hagar, but then when they found the little Altean in there, I was like, oh wait, not a Robies. It could be a Robies though. I mean, from the old school Voltron, that's what they called them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. When that robot came down at the end of the episode, I was like, "Oh boy, are we really jumping the shark right now?" Really?
I was stressed. I was like, "Yo, they just finished this battle. Now they're right back in another one. Come on, son, give them a break."
And then the fucking other ship transforms into a mech, and I was like, "Yes."
I was like, "Yeah,
yes."
I was like, "That's kind of like." That was the only thing I didn't like about that fight, but other than that,
the ship was a MacGuffin. Let's keep it real here. That shit was a huge MacGuffin. It was like, oh yeah, how are we going to power this up? Oh shit, that's right. The Atlas has this power. We're going to use the power from this crystal, and it'll magically do everything. And I was like,
they've been telling us these crystals are like, mysterious. Have so much power in them. So I guess a tiny crystal could power that whole ship that could house lions and everybody from one base.
It's like, I guess.
I guess that's the new castle.
Maybe. I mean, it's definitely one of those things and stuff. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm not
mad. I was just like, oh, brother. Like, it better not win this fight, and it didn't. I'm still happy that it took Voltron.
It followed big mech rules where it can only be so powerful, so it had to be giant and slow but still powerful to where the small mech can still wreck it. So you gotta give some sort of hand.
The reason I think Hagar is involved with that small mech because, like you said, she's still the only one around. So she probably knows about Lotor's plans and knows about the quintessence fields and the Alteans. Is the reason I say she's still around, or the reason I can believe she's still around, is because that mech, when it was fighting the big, the ship mech, it transformed, right? It did the thing where it made this shadow of itself, this purple shadow. And the only time we see purple shadow is when what's her name, Hagar's doing her magic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
basically. So I'm like, so she's involved with this somehow. We'll find out. But hopefully, there's another thing I hope they're setting up, with the new, with the EMFs. Is that what they call them?
What?
Those little fast ships.
Oh, damn.
MXEs, EXM.
See, I'm about to say the IGF Atlas. That's the ship.
Oh, that's the ship. Yeah, the IGF. Crap! I'm about to Google this joint up real quick, man. I can't be failing like this.
I know, right? Because basically, so.
Keep talking. I'm just gonna Google it up.
Yeah, so Pip's dad, and I thought this was interesting because when we get to season 7 and stuff, the Voltron team, essentially, they've been gone for 3 years. Give or take. Actually, no. Have they been gone?
Yeah, about 3 years.
About 3 years. So they disappeared for about 3 years or so, and Pip's dad went back to Earth, and he's going through the whole process of being debriefed, quarantined for a while and stuff, and he basically tells his story and stuff, and essentially he's like, hey, we're gonna have to prepare for the Gara Empire to come, and at first they're not trying to believe it. But the dude's like, all right, well, we don't believe you, but we will prep for when they get here. And essentially, he outfitted Earth weapons with some of the Altean and Gara technology. Essentially. And basically, he ended up getting ships that function much like the Garan ships, outfitted with powerful weapons.
Right. When Lotor built his, things was quick.
Yeah, so he had about, I think he commissioned 5 ships.
It was 4.
I thought it was 5. Well, it might be 4.
No, it's 4 because it was only like 4 pilots.
Yeah, 4 pilots, and he had 4 pilots. He had those special ships, which thankfully they never got destroyed throughout the rest of the season, which I thought was cool.
Right, man, those ships came close to, bruh. But again, they have to set up what they have to set up.
Yeah, so he goes there and we see the whole process of them trying to acclimate all the technology and stuff because, again, Earth hasn't quite caught up with the rest of the universe in terms of technology on that level and stuff. And he does, and he's getting a lot of pushback from a lot of the garrison command staff about this and stuff. And I think Admiral Sanda didn't want to sit there.
Fuck her.
Yeah, I gotta be real about this and stuff. I mean, yeah, she died, but I was like, man, can I get like one season where the person that betrayed the team, because yeah, she ends up betraying the team.
Yeah, she needs to have been put on trial or something.
Because you can't. I mean, because her getting killed off, I was like,
that whole like redemption arc they put her through, I was like, nah, that's weak. That's weak sauce.
Like I said, I'm not mad. I'm just kind of side-eyeing it, like, really, like, come on.
Every time somebody betrays the team, they get off, like, oh, like a little slap on the cheek,
Earth.
Right. God here.
Like I said, she gets killed for her troubles and stuff, and she's like, protect Earth, like I couldn't do it, don't be me. And I'm like, well, they were never you in the first place, so what are we talking about here, so, but yeah, so you had that little thing and stuff, and like I said, I like the whole thing with the way they integrated all the technology, because the funny thing is, in the original Voltron, if I remember correctly, the Garan Empire had already came to Earth and wreaked havoc with it already.
Yes.
Because it was the inverse opposite, where in Voltron, the team actually came to Earth, and it was already jacked up and messed up, and then they got captured by the Garan, and then they ended up getting to Voltron. And this show kind of did the opposite, where it's like, oh, the Garan finally came to Earth. So I thought it was interesting that they actually did some homages to the Garan basically laying waste to Earth, because essentially they get to Earth, that whole the garrison base is protected by the force field, and I like how What's-His-Face got the idea, was like, Sindak was like, hold up, they're protected here. How about we just destroy the rest of the cities?
Bro, Sindak is that dude.
Hey, look, Sindak was that dude, because bear in mind, too, Sindak was basically laying in the cut. I think people forget, Sindak was laying in the cut while Lotor and Zarkon were beefing. He was because if you remember correctly, I think Lotor actually took out Sindak when he came up to the scene.
When he came up as the new leader, and Sindak had kind of like threatened him, and they fought. He took him out. Sindak, in my opinion, played the long game. you gonna die, you gonna fuck up. And when you fuck up,
I'm gonna be there, taking over. Yeah, hey, look, he played his part perfectly. I will wholeheartedly admit that. So, but yeah, it was interesting. Did you find a name?
No, I'm still looking. I'm still looking. You know what? I'm gonna find it. Like, I'm not giving up.
No, but so, God, hold up. I might be able to help you out on that one because there has to be something there that's going to show it. Because that'd be dumb not to sit there and have it. I will say this.
Episode is called Last Stand. All right, so
I will say this though. It did remind me, like, yo, can we get a Robotech show?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Are we about to get like or the Voltron MFE fighter?
Yeah, the MFE fight. Yeah, the MFE fighters. The MFE fighters basically were the powerful fighters that had basically the top notch, weapons and stuff. It could fly fast. It could do whatever.
But they had short range weapons. They didn't have long range weapons, so they had to get up close to their enemies, and they were always almost in trouble. But they always kind of found their way out. But the thing about the MFEs, right? That kind of like, oh man, if we get these MFEs, right? Does this mean we're gonna get like, are they gonna continue to build, these? I mean, of course, you have the MFEs for the sky. Are you gonna have some sort of vehicles on the ground, something in the water, to protect? You got to protect everywhere. Like you have the Navy, Air Force, and the Army. So are we gonna get, and if you do that, are they gonna at some point? Because at some point, maybe like season 8, the very last episode, everybody gets their own mechs and the MFEs kind of join in together. That's I'm sorry, my mind was working in its own little zone. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I'm just saying, we're already getting a She-Ra show and stuff, which I'm actually pretty amped because, I mean, everybody's all complaining about the look, and meanwhile, I'm like, you realize this opens it up for a He-Man show, but hey, people don't want to look at the long game on that one.
Nah, nobody ever does that. Nobody ever does that.
I mean, it benefits everybody, and let's be real about this. She-Ra, if you look back at He-Man, She-Ra never really got her... I think she never got a shine. She never got a shine, and I think it's cool that they're doing the opposite. It was like, look, let's do She-Ra, and then we'll probably end up doing He-Man. Let's do the opposite and see what happens. And I think it's going to work out. So I would love to see DreamWorks pick up and do like Macross or something, or hell, Thundercat. Well, they're already doing Thundercats on Cartoon Network. Let me get back up, Silverhawks or something.
Yo, I've been praying for Silverhawks. I've been praying for dude, if they do a Silverhawk show. I mean, I'm gonna be lost for like a whole day. Like I was lost for a whole day for Voltron. Like the whole Saturday, that's all I did. Woke up in the morning and just watched it.
I mean, because the thing of it is, there's so many things you can do with these older properties and to really improve on them and stuff. And I mean, I like Go Line and stuff as much as the next person, but I feel like Voltron Legendary Defenders has done a better job than Go Line. And that's not disrespecting Go Line whatsoever. I think Go Line is an awesome property, but I feel like Legendary Defender did a really good job in expanding on to make it very fully realized with the Voltron property and stuff. So hey, look, I welcome anything they can do. I mean, hell, if the She-Ra ends up being a really good show, I think that's even something better. I mean, because the only thing you can do with these 80s properties, you can only improve on them.
Right.
Let's be real about this. I mean, that's amazing that we got all these solid seasons of Voltron. I can honestly sit there and say there's not a season I can sit back and be like, well, it wasn't that good.
Right.
It's like, nah, they were pretty solid seasons. Like I said, you can complain about the fact that some seasons were ridiculously short, but I think that was Netflix's way of avoiding having to extend the show longer. But whatever,
Right, but that was I appreciate that though, at least because it kept us waiting, and it's like, okay, so we're gonna wait, and we're gonna sit down and like it was good. It was good in my opinion.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, and the thing of it is too is that like when I like the fact that we finally got some resolution with Zarkon. He's finally dead, because let me tell you, that fight between Lotor and Zarkon was ridiculous.
It's dope.
I didn't think we were going to get it, because I assumed they were going to do another Voltron versus Zarkon part 2. They was like, nah, we're just going to have father and son fight it out. Let's go. And Lotor did it. He did the damn thing. I mean,
yeah. Even though he got help though.
Yeah, true. Hey, look, it was bound to happen at some point. I mean, what can you do? But yeah, it definitely worked out in the long run and stuff. And Zarkon was dead, and it was crazy too. If we're going back to Hagar, even though Hagar was using Shiro to keep tabs, you can tell. Like again, she still has never told anybody that she's Lotor's mom.
Right.
Even though she's kind of showing her hand and how she cares for Zarkon and stuff, and we as the viewers know only because we know their backstory and stuff.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting that they never kept that husband and wife dynamic, even with their personas as Zarkon and Hagar. I'm kind of surprised they never kept that like dynamic going on. It just felt like it was more of like a work relationship than an actual loving relationship. Even though she still cared for Zarkon to revive him and all that stuff, So that was cool. Keith actually ended up getting a bit of growth as well because he's been chilling with the Blade of Mamora. He finds out his mom is still alive. And we finally get a backstory on the fact that Garans have came to Earth. And that's how the Blue Lion popped up on Earth.
Bruh, that shit was stressful. Like, what? Man,
stressful was understatement there, sir.
This whole season was stressful because every minute you turned around, you felt like something. Yeah, somebody was going to die. Like they weren't going to make it to Earth, and when they go to Earth, and when they finally make it to Earth, something else happens. Like everything, they went through so much. And again, that one episode when they got kicked out of their lines, and they had to like and Hunk, who again we've all known as the punk of the group, punk. He's the punk of the group, but somehow he managed to be the bravest in that situation. When Keith lost it, the princess lost it, Lance lost it. Even Pidge couldn't smart her way out of that one. Hunk was the one. Everyone in every episode had their own kind of like, oh, we're gonna overcome something,
they had to step it up. I mean, like I said, once Keith left the group, and you had the princess and Shiro. Princess joined the group and stuff, and they're switching up lions and stuff. Lance had to step it up a bit because now he has Keith's weapon, and Hunk. It's funny. Season 6, I would say is probably Hunk's season because he definitely stepped it up as well. Like he wasn't. There's nothing wrong with being the comedic person of the group and of the group dynamics, but I felt in season 6 he really stepped it up in terms of taking charge at times.
Right, you did.
So
yeah. So I'm kind of look. We might be seeing the end of it next year, or
is it this year? Season 8 is December.
Oh, we might be seeing the end of this show, but seriously, I am all for it. Like to me, this has been one of the most well-crafted. I'll say this, and I'll probably catch some flack for this, but this has been one of the most well-crafted Netflix shows. In fact, the way it's able to engage you, keep you watching, it's like every story you can follow. I just like how they've done it. And then, with the seasons that they kind of shortened, so, they didn't have to stretch out a story, to make a story like, kind of like, stretch out, the season. Because again, making those seasons short, in my opinion, was a good move.
Oh yeah,
smart
move from the stakes. But like even when you look at it as a whole, it's like season 4 and 5 could have been one, but like I said, that's their way of skirting around like having to extend it.
Yeah. Because again, if they had joined those seasons together and then overextended it, we'd be talking about something else. So keep it short, keep it sweet. I've loved this show, and I think this is again. It was great to see this because again, as a kid, I loved Voltron and every iteration of it. Even the vehicle, the vehicle one, which I think a lot of people don't like. I love that too, which is why when I saw the MFEs, I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, we might be getting vehicle Voltron again. But but
hey, I'm just curious. Like I said, I felt it was pretty interesting how they left themselves open because, like I said, Hagar is still out there and stuff, and they definitely left it open for a lot of things to come for season 8. Which I think is perfect because like she's literally the last major threat for the team.
Right. Don't you see how I love how they've kind of made everyone a threat, or, they've kind of given us all our threats, because in my mind, if we go back to the original Voltron, Sendak reminds me of one of the other generals who kind of wanted to overthrow Zarkon. If him and Hagar were like planning behind him. No. Everyone kind of wanted to overthrow Zarkon in the original series. Lotor wanted to do it.
Oh, everybody was. Everybody was cutthroat towards another. I mean, hell, Lotor, even in this series, didn't. See, for me to sit there and say he hated his son is an understatement. See, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if he necessarily hated his son so much that he didn't really care for him.
Yeah, he wanted him to fall in line like everyone else. Like, I think that was their beef. It's like, because remember when he captured him, he didn't necessarily kill him or anything until they kind of like went hand to hand, and like he just wanted his son to fall in line.
Well, I mean, because his son. I mean, think about it. Lotor. It's kind of like, okay, so if you want to compare the two, Zarkon is the type of person that he rules with the iron thumb. He captures you, you're a fucking slave, and that's it. There ain't no coming back from that shit. Like, he's brutal. Lotor, he's like the slave master. Like, if Zarkon is a slave master that will whip you for looking at him, Lotor is the person that's like, look, I'm going to feed you and get you water, but you're still a slave. Okay? It's like, I want to treat you nice because I know at least if I treat you nice, I'm going to get good work out of you. So they're both bad. It's just varying degrees of
one
stuff.
Is different. Yeah, it's different ways of being bad, I guess.
Yeah. So, and I think maybe Zarkon sees Lotor as being soft, essentially. Like, hey,
yes.
So like I said, I think I think Lotor sees his dad as like, yeah, his way isn't necessarily getting the results that the Garan Empire needs. Because and it goes into the whole aspect of with how we found out Lotor was taking the quintessence from the Altarians and stuff. Yeah. It's like, oh, he's just as cutthroat as his dad. It's just he just does it with a smile on his face.
Yeah, exactly. Smiling at you, you're smiling back, and you're thinking, oh my god, this is for the good. Like, but then you're dying. But then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then if the one girl didn't like kind of run away and tell anyone.
Oh, they would. I think the team would have been caught off guard way later than what they did when they did get caught off guard. Don't get it twisted. When Lotor busted up in that mech, it threw the team off like, oh shit, he has his own Voltron. Wow, okay, didn't see that coming, And like I said, I'm curious to see how this all plays out because, like I said, if somehow the essence of Shiro was in the Black Line, there has to be the essence of Lotor somewhere in some capacity someplace. So we'll see how that plays out and stuff. I know the princess, she steps it up a little bit in terms of her kind of mastering the alchemy, which is, it kind of puts her in the same situation of what Hagar was when she was Altan in terms of knowing the alchemy and all that stuff. So she stepped it up in a big way in terms of kind of being more proactive. And I think it also goes into the aspect of Keith leaving, so she had to jump in one of the lions to be the proactive person and stuff. And I thought it was interesting because even up until this season and stuff, the team, the dynamics over every season, they've gotten closer and closer because even when the team is switched up and stuff, they were still able to be close. And I'm curious to see if maybe Shiro jumps back into the Lions again for one last time.
Right. Because I'm seeing Keith probably go fight with the Blade again. We might, it's a storyline in my opinion that's kind of almost played out, but it's something that might happen. Keith might want to go fight with his mom in the Blade, and once he does that, it's like, oh well, it's like,
I ain't go home and be a family man, I guess.
Right, because he does have his little girl on the side who used to be one of Lotor's, lieutenants.
Hey, look, it looked like they were definitely echoing like how
she
his
was
dad
the one
and his mom.
He was in the trying to get the crystal, right?
Yeah, both of them were stranded, and they had to help each other out.
Kind of rescue her, and yeah. So I mean, she kind of had a crush on him, and he was looking at her like, yeah, it was good, like.
Yeah. So yeah, it was actually pretty cool. How they all panned that out and stuff. Like I said, just like his dad, he's like, hey, got my little family and stuff. We can do this. Let's go.
Right.
But I'm trying to think. So you got that. The Castle of Lions got destroyed. So
right,
the team struggle of season 7 was essentially
how we
trying
gonna
to
recharge.
how we're gonna recharge it, being one with the Lions, and like you said, Hunk. When they're all floating out in space, they're realizing that, oh, we basically had the power within ourselves, which I was kind of like, I'm not mad at it. It's just like, well, of course, this is anime rules, so, the heart of cards kind of thing where that's going to power everything.
You set the heart of the cards. Get
Look,
out of here.
It's anime rules, all right? This is how it works.
Right.
So, you had to sit there and do all that. But yeah, I would say it continues to amaze me to see the action still be solid the way it is, too. Because it never, at no point in time did you ever question it slipping up or going down or dipping down in quality and stuff. They've always found a way. I don't know, no, that was season 3 when they went to the other dimension. And it was the OG Voltron. Never mind, I'm thinking that was season 4. No, that was season 3. Tripping. Yeah. Oh, I was getting confused for a second there, but yeah, I'm trying to think if we missed anything throughout this whole journey, so to speak. I mean, because we hit up Keith and the Blade of Memorial, which they got devastated, but looks like they're going to build up.
Yes, they did get crushed. I mean, Earth is now in league with the what's the big global force? What are they called? The big
I mean, they're the defenders of the universe, but basically every alien race that the Voltron team encountered basically came to Earth to help rebuild it and stuff. And
yeah, so we might have a new base, which is going to be Earth, of course, because our heroes are Earthlings, regardless of whatever it is.
And there's still threats out there, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a little saddened because somebody asked about the aspect of will we ever see vehicle Voltron, and they was like, nah, that's not happening. I was like, that would have been nice to do.
Oh, come on, man.
For a second, I thought Pip's dad was going to do his variation of a Voltron with the vehicles.
Right.
And I was a little mad it didn't happen, just as a wink and a nod. Like, hey, just do our version of vehicle Voltron, but, you don't have to make it awesome. But hey, now I don't know. We got one more season. You never know. They might throw that in there.
They're gonna drop those vehicles, man. Keep watching. I have faith.
Even though it's not canon, to real Voltron, it was a separate series.
Canon. But okay, it's my canon.
And look, they tried to make fetch happen with that, and
it was. I liked it. I don't care what anyone says. I liked Vehicle Voltron. I was like,
I thought it was interesting. It was
practical to me.
Yeah. I mean,
because if Earth wanted to build their own thing, that's what they would do. They would build vehicles.
I thought it was interesting in the aspect of when you actually look at the backstory involving that. It's like, they really did a lot of cutting and pasting to make that shit work. And back then, when it's like you watch it now, it's like, huh. That's interesting that they actually did that. This is actually pretty cool.
I mean, they moved a lot to make that happen.
The coalition, that's what it is. They're the coalition.
Yes, the coalition.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. It's funny. Everybody thinks that they rid them of the Garan threat, and I'm like, there's still more Garan out there.
Oh no, there's still Garan who are, in my mind, loyal to the cause. And so now, how you gonna act in terms of who you gonna remove and.
I mean, I'm going to talk about Voltron leveling up with the dual swords.
Bruh, when they did that, I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie to you. When that happened, I was like, we're gonna get blazing sword right now. That's what's about to happen.
Yo, I was like, that was Super Cena activated right there.
Then when they did the little dual swords, I was like, alright, it's whatever. Yo, I'm saying anytime something is about to happen in this show, I immediately get transported to to what I know. Like, okay, so we're about to get blazing sword or something, and it's not okay. I'm not mad at that. It's whatever. That's how you guys want to go. Fine, do that. Then. I don't care.
Yeah, I know I'm jumping back to this, but the only reason why I was thinking back to this, and this makes sense. Hagar's been gone for 3 years.
Right.
So who's to say that she hasn't been doing some shenanigans in order for that to happen? I just thought about that. I was like, damn, they were kind of gone and stuff. Actually, scratched it. They weren't gone for 3 years, but I forgot they said it was going to. It was like, I think it was like they did a year and a half time jump.
Was it a year and a half? No, it was 3.
No, it was a year and a half. Yeah, I forgot because I think that the term they used was nega something or whatever, and it shifts over to actually a year and a half. So they've been gone.
No, it took them a year and a half to get back to Earth. They were gone.
They said it was going to be a year and a half until again the Super Cena mode of them forming Voltron, and they were able to hyper jump. And they were only gone basically, essentially for like months, a year. It was actually a year they were gone, but I don't know. It's weird. It's like, was it 3 years?
The whole time, yeah, the time, because I think it was, if you added up, it was 3 years by the time they took them from, I think they were gone for a while. They were gone for 3.
Okay, all right. We'll stick with 3.
You know, maybe it was a year and a half they were gone for when the whole thing happened.
Yeah.
Or a year they were gone for when the whole, when it was 2 they were gone for when the whole thing happened, and it took them a year to get back, because they were able to hyper jump.
Yeah.
Because of Voltron. So the whole time thing was kind of confusing, but it kind of set itself out.
But yeah, I do think Hagar had to be doing something, because you don't be gone for that long and just know. And that's the funny thing. Nobody said anything this season about where's Hagar. Like,
nope. Because they only cared about going back to Earth.
Even Lotor's old crew, we never heard a budge from their mouths about where Hagar was at. And like,
and didn't they kind of join forces with Hagar at one point?
Oh, they did. They basically did, because once Lotor decided, hey, I'm working with the Voltron crew, Hagar basically was like, all right, well, you work for me now, so go after Lotor. And even when Lotor heel turned on his team and formed his own Voltron, it was already too late. They were just kind of like, you're crazy, dude. What are you doing?
But Lotor powered his own lion and his own mech. He was the only person in it, the only person that piloted.
Yeah, he basically used the other team's suit to essentially, to do that and stuff. So yeah, look, I hope we see more of him. That's all I'm saying. Just saying.
He was a good character. But I'll say one thing though: the hand-to-hand combat in the show, pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, dude, Keith and the fucking Blade of Memori, man, they were wrecking house in season 4, man. I was loving their Black Ops.
Zandak and Shiro.
Yeah, man, they were. Look, Zandak and Shiro having their part 2 battle, because I believe, was it Shiro that sliced off his arm? Or was that actually Lotor that did that?
I think it was Lotor.
Oh, you know what it was? I'm thinking
that was who
I forgot. I'm thinking Shiro and fucking Zarkon that fought. My bad. I'm getting them both mixed up. But
yeah, it was Lotor, because it was. Remember when Lotor was in the arena trying to become the next.
Yeah, he sliced off Zandak's arm. My bad. So I'm getting it confused, because the way Zendar and Shiro were fighting, it reminded me of Shiro versus Zarkon.
Bruh.
Fighting on the ship.
And then, if you go back to last season or 2 seasons ago when Lotor and Zarkon, man, that was a fight. Like,
yo, look, Lotor already favors the sword, so he was going ham. Easily. Right. So and like I said, Shiro was no slouch with that new arm of his, because that was actually pretty dope. I thought we were going to get some rocket arm aspects, but we didn't get it.
Yeah, I thought they were going to build an arm like a robot arm, but I think they, because we already did that, so we're going to stay away from robot arm, and we're going to give him something different. And I liked it.
Yeah, I was fine with it. I didn't necessarily hate it.
Whatever. Again, anime rules. Like, everything, this show kind of follows anime rules. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, it's like Avatar, essentially. It's. I think, this is the same studio that animated Avatar, so it makes sense and stuff with the anime aesthetics and stuff. I will say this, though, with season 7, I would say there was a couple episodes I like. I guess if we want to really talk about our favorite episodes, the RPG episode, the Dungeons and Dragons episode, I loved in season 6.
Oh yeah. I love that.
That was dope.
That was kind of dope. One of my favorite episodes in this season, I don't know if we might be different on this one, was the game show one.
Yeah, that was interesting just because it was kind of like a clip show, but done in a very intuitive way. Like, it wasn't the usual, let's just do a clip show of the greatest hits. It was like, no, they actually had to answer questions and stuff. And just the fact at the end of the episode, what's-his-face was like, I heard rumors of this guy that puts people in quiz shows. Interesting. You know, and it's just kind of like a rumor still, even after that.
Like, if you met him, you're definitely worthy. Like, it was like, yeah, you need to know your worth or something. Every episode kind of felt very like, you know, I think this whole season, again, season 7 was like, you know, like at this point you know, yes, you're the Paladins, yes, you're this, but you guys have to know that you deserve this. Like, whatever happens, you deserve to be the Paladins of Voltron. And if you come back to Earth when, you know, they kind of call their lines, because remember when they got back to Earth and they had to go destroy the missiles or whatever was firing on Earth, Zemek had to fire on Earth, and they were calling their lines, and Lance had a hard time calling Red. You know, I believe it was something where he didn't believe he deserved it enough. Again, or he may have just been trying to overprotect his sister. But, you know, something at one point when he needed the line, it came to him. So this whole season to me was this whole thing of we are the Paladins of Voltron, and we deserve to be who we are. Like, we, you know, again, we've defended the universe a couple times, and we've done it on sheer luck. But at this point, it's now like, yeah, we are Voltron. Like, we are Voltron Force.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, because my thing was, I like that D&D one, the game show was pretty dope. Like I said, I love the hell out of them finally fleshing out the backstory of, you know, Zarkon and Hagar and just the Alteans and all that stuff with just how all of them came to be. And I thought it was done really well. Very well. I would also probably say the two-parter that showed the backstory of how Earth got the technology that it got. I thought that was actually interesting that there's also the Earth kind of paladins, so to speak, that have their own little ships. So, I mean, like I say, you know, it's hard for me to really pick one, but I like that one, and just Lotor versus Voltron, like in season 6. That was just a badass fight overall, easily. So, I mean, what is your standout episode for you?
Oh man, it's I want to be that guy and be like, it's so many, but if I had to say pick one, it would definitely be you know, the father son fight. That one. I mean, Jesus Christ, only because of that fight at the end, you know. And then of course Lotor and Voltron in Quintessence Field. Oh. It's that was just because of the whole story of it, like, oh my god, you know, we have to go into the Quintessence Field to fight this guy, even though we know what's going to happen to us. Like, they were ready to sacrifice themselves, even in the last one, you know, the last, you know, where they had to push that little other mech out of space. Like, well, you know, we might die, but we are the Paladins, and it's been an honor. Like, all of that just felt very, like, you know, very weighted. Like, season 7, just as a whole, is, you know, one of my favorite seasons, and so many episodes to pick. You know, from there, I like Hunk stepping up in that one episode. He's like, you know, and Hunk realizing, hey man, my folks are gonna die, but I'm still a paladin at the end of the day, and I can't just go and half cocked, and I want to see my family and all this good stuff. And it's like, it's so many episodes, bro. Like, but all in all, like I said, the fight, father son fight for me is number one. Like, takes the cake.
Yeah, I need more of that and stuff.
You get more, please.
Yeah, I mean, don't get it twisted. It's like, I loved season 7 and stuff, but and again, because you watch so much anime, you let a lot of it go and stuff. And I mean, I'll admit my own bias in that, because, you know, if it was any other show, and I think it's because the show was so good, you let a lot of stuff slide, like the MacGuffins, like the happenstance of the team winning because of this one thing that they were able to do and stuff. Because it's funny too, because even when the ship and them able to dual swords, it still ain't enough to beat that mech. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. Yeah,
like even with the you know, I'm sorry. What's the big ship called? The Atlas.
Yeah, the Atlas.
Even with the Atlas, joining in the fight, they were still not able to like just take over, destroy the mech just because.
Yeah,
and I like that. You shouldn't be able to just do something just because. Like,
it's like we still
it
don't know
would
how
be
this
nice
works.
to see Atlas join the fight, but come on, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
let's be real for a second.
Yeah, but like I said, it's. I would say this show is doing something that a lot of shows really try to do, and that's like I said, you show character growth, and the whole team, in some way, shape, or form, has grown. Basically,
Right.
And all, like I said, like you said, Hunk has grown into the person that he is and stuff. From when we see him from season 1, same with Pidge, she's gotten over herself. Same with Shiro. Hopefully, we see more of that with Shiro, because I think Shiro's probably the one that. I think a lot of us, going back to what we were talking about at the beginning, we want to see him really grow more and stuff, because it looked like he could be the person that actually leads the coalition on Earth and be in that leadership position.
Yeah, because they kind of low-key called him Captain.
Yeah.
Captain Shiro at one point. It was like, okay, Shiro, I see you.
Yeah, he's definitely
Captain
stepping it
Shiro.
up.
And especially because Xander, what's her name? Admiral, whatever her traitorous space ass. Kind of like, I hate her so much. I like that she died, but I'm sorry. It was too easy. The end was
I gotta be real. Like, I didn't expect a heel turn from her betraying the team. I gotta wholeheartedly admit that I didn't see that coming. So it's like when she was the one, I was like, I should have saw that coming, but at the same time, I'm not mad I didn't see that coming. It was kind of like, interesting.
I was like, for real?
That's how you feel?
After everything they told you and everything that you've seen with your eyes, bro, like, that's what pisses me off about these shows. Is like, you can see everything. Like, wait a minute, this is like not even a regular war type situation. But you still be dumb enough to go like, oh, well, I want to protect Earth. Like, get out of here, lady. I'm sorry. Like, my bad.
No, you're good. It makes hey, look, I ain't knocking it. I get it. It's yeah, totally. I understand it completely. It makes sense and stuff. But at the same time, you are kind of sitting back like, really, that's what's up. So yeah, I mean, like I said, overall, this is, like I said, I can't say that there's been a bad season. Everything has worked out pretty solidly for it and stuff. And I mean, look. If Voltron can get this good of a revival, it'd be nice to see G.I. Joe kind of get a revival on the cartoon side of things.
Yeah, I was about to say, but please no live action for G.I. Joe.
I mean, I think live action for what they're doing, I give them credit for leaning into the ridiculousness stuff of G.I. Joe. But like, if there's a team that you need to do, it had to be. I would use the same team to do G.I. Joe, because I mean, granted, a good chunk of the writers on this show and the producers and stuff, they actually did that G.I. Joe Resolute show. So, I mean, look, if Voltron can get that, I think G.I. Joe can do it. I think G.I. Joe just has the tough task of how do you do G.I. Joe in an era.
Oh man, in this era
where a lot of kids are loving Call of Duty, but they're kind of getting tired of Call of Duty, so you don't want to lean into that, but then you also want to make a good series. So I think G.I. Joe is going to be more tougher than I think it's going to be. So
man, it's going to be a hard climb for G.I. Joe, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got G.I. Joe, Thundercats Go. I'm going to play the wait and see on how that plays out. I mean, look, it might be like Teen Titans Go, where it's going to probably sneak up on folks, and it actually be pretty good.
Oh man!
Even though I have my reservations, to see how it goes.
Goat, bruh. That's the goat show.
They're doing She-Ra, so that definitely backdoors He-Man to it, so that's already there. I know I said I definitely want them to do Macross. That would be pretty dope for them to really do. Be nice if they actually did Battle of the Planets.
Yo.
As a show. I mean, look, they already that could work. Don't
speak certain things into existence, bruh. Battle of the Planets would be dope if they did.
Look, I was shocked that that DreamWorks got the rights to do Voltron, because for anime fans, that's a sacred show that you can't touch, and they knocked out the park. So, right. Battle of the Planets is up there in turn. Battle of the Planets and Macross is another property from that same era as Voltron, where it's like, hey dog, don't mess it up.
if you're gonna do it right. Do right
Yeah,
by it.
so I mean, look, I would love a Battle of the Planets show from DreamWorks. I mean, shit, they could probably knock it out, and it'll be good. There's a lot of stories you can do with that. People die in that show.
I feel like every time we talk about Voltron, we always talk about what they could and could, like.
I mean, look,
always do that.
Wasn't this the same show, I believe, when you were on, that we were saying, man, it'd be nice if they do He-Man, and then boom, they're giving us She-Ra.
Right.
So, hey, maybe we might get our wish. Maybe we might get G.I. Joe. Maybe we might get Battle of the Planets. I mean, shit, hey, they might fuck around and do another Speed Racer cartoon.
Bruh.
I mean, when was the last good Speed Racer cartoon other than the original show? I mean,
other than the original show, bro. Nothing.
So I mean, it's the sky's the limits for what
and
they
you
can
would
possibly
think
do.
it's like these things are sacred properties to certain people, but sometimes they're not that difficult to do.
Gigantor, that's another one. I mean, hell, they can do. See, I was gonna say Astro Boy, but they've done him so many times in different variations and stuff. So, and I mean, none of them I never hated and stuff. Even the one that came out with I forgot what studio did the one with Nicolas Cage voicing the scientists and stuff. I actually thought that one was actually not that bad. It was actually pretty good. So, like I said, they got opportunities to really kind of go out there and do their own thing with these shows and stuff. But like I said, I'm glad that they actually got something going on with Voltron, and like I said, we got season 8 coming out. So yeah. You got any final thoughts, so to speak? I think we covered everything.
We kind of covered everything. For Voltron, I'm kind of thought it out. That was kind of stupid. I'm kind of done. I'm kind of like, I've seen, this. Again, I wasn't expecting what I got from season 7, to be very honest with you, and it blew my mind, like what they did.
The build up for it was pretty
very
dope, man.
impressive with how they did it.
Yeah.
Very impressive how they did it, and again, you did a good job. Just keep it up. Just keep doing the good job, and just give us something great or greater next year, and or at the end of this year. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, cool. So, if you guys got any questions for us, you can hit us up at 3 Black Geeks, and you can at Mo on there. You can either do at Earth2 Comicast on Twitter, or you can maybe hit him up personally on there. I think it's yours is at Mo Crosby, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
and I will respond.
Yeah, we will definitely both respond. You can shoot us an email at 3blackgeeks@gmail.com. Just hit us with your thoughts. Actually, you know what? Here's a good question. All right, because I already said some of the old school animes they could do already. But this is a big question, right, to end it off here. If you guys had an old school anime that you would love to see DreamWorks tackle as a TV show, what would it be and why? So you could you could tweet that to us, or you can shoot the email. We'll read it, one or the other. But I'm curious to see what people would love to see DreamWorks tackle on the anime side of things and stuff. That it don't even have to be old school anime. It could be even 80s cartoons and stuff too. I definitely want to expand it out and stuff, because, like I said, there's a lot of properties that could do a good revival, and Voltron definitely benefited from the toy side of things and stuff a bit. So, but yeah, so definitely hit us up with that answer and stuff if you do. So with that being said, catch you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.